Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. And today we are going to be doing something different because we are going to be building a vintage model kit. Now, if you've watched over on toy-polloi 2 recently, you'll have seen that I've been buying quite a lot of toys from the vintage Starfleet TV series, better known as X-Bomber, over in Japan. And I've actually picked up these toys using a website called JPfans, which has enabled me to find some really weird and wonderful things. And one of the things that I picked up was this little model kit. Now, this is a kit designed for kids, so it's not the most complicated of things, but I bought it because I saw the box and just thought that is absolutely fantastic. This is one of the Astro fighters or Gelma fighters that you see in the Starfleet TV series. It's a key sort of part of the show. You see them in almost every episode, and there weren't any real toys made of this vehicle, but there was this model kit. So I picked it up. I think it cost me just slightly over £10, and today we are going to be taking a close look at the kit, and we are going to build it as well, because I know the box is nice and I know it's lovely to have sort of mint in box things, but I really like to have things out on display. So what I want to do is build the kit and put it on display next to the box. So let's take a closer look at the kit and see what we need to do and get it all put together. So here we have the Astro fighter or Gelma fighter or Gelma fighter from Starfleet X-Bomber. It goes by many names. In the show they call it the Astro fighter quite a few times. This box says Gelma fighter or Gelma fighter, depending on what translation you use. I think most people would say Gelma. Yeah, I'm going to call it the Astro fighter because that's actually how I sort of remember it as a child. You can see that it is a really pretty nice box. The illustration on the front shows 2 of the fighters. This is number 4 in the series. There were 4 separate model kits that you could get. If I turn the box around, you'll see on the side the other ones that were available. So we have the X-Bomber, we have the big Dai-X, we have the Imperial Alliance Cruiser, and then the one that we are building today. I picked this up via the JPfans website. It cost me, as I say, about £10, so really not a huge amount of money. And if you want to check out the site to see what sort of other things you can get, I'll put a link in the description, which will also offer you some discount codes. Let's open this box up and I'll show you what is inside. So this is an unused kit, and it is an incredibly simple kit. There's very few parts to it, and the colour of plastic used really has no relation to the sort of image on the front. It's made out of bright blue and bright red plastic, and the instructions for it are on the inside of the top of the box. So you can see we've got a few bits to cut out and a few bits to push together. It also says here on the front that there is no glue needed. This is a 100% sort of push together kit, because really I'm guessing this would have been sold for a couple of £100 or something back in the early 80s. It's just for kids to put together, and that is what we are going to do today. Now, I know people will be saying, don't do it, don't do it. This is a rare kit. These are not hugely rare. You can pick them up fairly easily. And as I said, I like to have things on display. It seems a shame to have this lovely box but not actually be able to see the kit that it builds. And I want to display this with the box and the kit all built in front of it. So let's get on and build this and see if it bears any resemblance to this amazing illustration on the front. So we need the instructions, which as I showed you are on the inside of the box. I am going to carefully cut open this plastic just to keep everything. So I've got a pair of scissors here. I'll just cut along the top. You can get the bits of kit out. I am also going to treat myself to a new pair of plastic nippers. I picked these up on a trip a while back to Japan. I haven't actually used them, so these are nice brand new fresh plastic nippers and should give a really good cut. Let's take a look at the instructions and see what we need to do. So I can see there are pieces across both different colour boards. They are all marked, so one of them is marked B and one of them is marked A. So let's find out which is which. So the red one is B and the blue one is A. So it looks like all of the parts on this bottom section are predominantly from B, with just a couple of bits from A. So let's get trimming and cutting and see if we can put part 1 together. It looks like it's some sort of engine block. So here I have all of the little pieces cut out. Let's start pushing everything together. It says it is a push fit, so shouldn't need any gluing. That piece goes on there. We have this sort of engine front part which pushes onto there. That bit doesn't actually feel like it wants to go in. feels a bit loose and spongy. So we may actually have to end up gluing some of these pieces. As I said, this is a sort of designed as a cheap kids kit, so the precision of the bits being made is probably fairly rough. So yeah, we are definitely going to have to do a little bit of gluing. We've got some wheels that go on there. Yeah, definitely going to have to do some gluing. As you can see, pieces are falling off it already. We'll push those on there. These bits should pop on the end there. Oh, that bit actually felt pretty good. That did actually want to stay in place. And then we've got these little engine pieces here as well. Let's see if those want to go in. Let's see which way round they're supposed to go. So that goes in there. Let's try that again. Yeah, those pieces really don't want to stay. I think I'm going to have to get a little bit of glue out just to help some of these pieces stay together. And likewise, those are a really hard fit. So yeah, let's get a little bit of glue out and we'll glue some of these pieces together. So I've just got a little bit of super glue on here and I'm going to very carefully put it on a couple of the offending parts just to hold them in place. This rear sort of engine piece seems to not want to stay in place. So tiny amount of super glue just applied with a pin there should be enough to get this to stay on. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that's much better. So I'm just going to do a couple of the other pieces that don't want to stay in place, and then we'll move on to the next part of the kit. That all seems to have worked, and this piece is now actually holding together really pretty well. So I think a little bit of glue is all that is needed, even though the box says that no glue is needed. There's clearly a little bit of leeway in that. So yeah, that has helped quite a lot, and we've even got some little wheels that spin rather nicely. So let's move on to part 2 of the instructions. We've got a lot more parts to cut out, and these look like they come from both pieces. So we've got some red bits and some blue bits. So let's do a little bit more cutting. So again, I have all the pieces cut out. The instructions on this don't look particularly clear, but I think I've worked out what we've got to do. So let's get pushing all these pieces together. And I guess this builds the sort of body section of the fighter. So we've got to add this piece in that we've already constructed. That goes on the front, and then everything else sort of slots around it. Does that actually fit in there? That feels like an incredibly tight fit. So again, I think we might need to do a little bit of modification on some of these just to make sure these things actually fit on. That side seems to fit, but yeah. Oh, maybe I've got to put it that way round. Nope, that looks the wrong way round to me. It feels like it goes in one way, but it doesn't want to go in the other way. That's strange. Have I got that piece upside down? As I say, the instructions aren't amazingly clear. Let me have a little fiddle off camera and see if I can work this out. Okay, with some closer inspection, I can say definitely that these pieces do need a little bit of sort of shaping and working, because that's the front section that we made, which I can see there, and it needs to point in that direction. And there are holes on these pieces. One side of the hole fits on these little posts really neatly, and if I go to the other side, it doesn't. And it turns out that it actually needs to go around the way that these don't actually want to fit on. So I think those holes just aren't quite large enough to make this work. So I've just grabbed another Japanese tool, which is my little handy drill, and I'm going to carefully drill out those holes, because one side I can put the drill bit in, the other side, yeah, it won't fit. So definitely just a little bit of a sort of failure of tolerance there on this old plastic. So let me just drill that out. It really doesn't need to be much drilled out. Let's see if that actually fits on now. Just about, a little bit more then, a little bit more twisting. Let's see if that will then fit on. Yeah, there we go. So it's just a slight sort of failure in the tolerance of this very cheap plastic, which is not really surprising. Would have been quite frustrating as a child though if this didn't work. So yeah, let me just modify this one as well. And we can then push that on there. Yeah, and that fits. And then those two pieces should clip together there. And that is now looking like the kit. So let me get the rest of this put together, and we'll see what this part looks like. We have another bit here that's just a bit loose and a bit tight in equal measures. So we've got these little sort of engine block pieces that actually come as two parts and sort of don't even have a push together. They just sort of rest together. And at one end, you've got this larger little post that's sort of created, and that's supposed to pop into that hole there. And as you can see, it's really loose. And then on the other end, there are two smaller pegs that again make a little post, and they're supposed to push into these, but the tolerance is incredibly tight on those. So I've actually just drilled that one out just to make it a bit bigger, and that does seem to fit just about, but yeah, it's a really loose fit. So I'm going to actually glue all of these pieces together and then glue them in place there. I think that will work better. I've had to glue the wheels on, and I think I might have to glue a few other pieces. It's sort of a close fit, but just a bit loose in places and a bit tight in others. So tiny amount of glue and we'll get this all sorted. But I'm almost there on this section. So let's glue these bits on and then we'll do the final build. That leaves just this cover to add, so let me just trim this off. It's the last piece and the biggest piece in the kit, and that sits over the top of everything and just attaches to those two posts there. So let's see if that actually fits. And it does, and there we go, we've put it all together. I do actually like this kit, the fact they've added some wheels to it to make it more like a little car. That's quite a nice little feature. And that is a pretty good interpretation of the Astro Fighter, just with those added wheels on the bottom. It's the sort of thing you could actually easily modify if you wanted to make this look more like the ship in the show. You could trim some of this stuff off. You could trim all of those sort of wheel attachments off the bottom and off there. And you'd end up with a little vehicle that really did look like it looked in the show. And with a bit of paint on it, you'd end up with something that looks pretty nice. But even as it stands, I love this. This is something that I would have really wanted as a child because I really did enjoy the show. So that's a very nice kit. Does need a little bit of modification and sort of fine tuning as you go, but the end result is pretty cool. That was a really fun kit to build, and the end model actually looks pretty good considering it's made out of such cheap plastic. This toy, as I mentioned, was probably sold for only a few £100 back in the early 80s, so it was just designed as a cheap throwaway toy for kids to build and play with, and I'm guessing they're not really supposed to last that long. But as you can see, it does look really nice, and now I can put it on display with the box and my growing collection of Starfleet and X-Bomber toys. A lot of these I've actually managed to pick up via the JPfans website. JPfans is a proxy shopping service that enables you to buy from sites that don't normally ship outside Japan, and there are some really amazing vintage toys to be found on there. So if you want to go and check that out, follow the link in the description. That link will give you coupons off shipping, so it's well worth clicking on. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have, then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video. And if you've really enjoyed it and want to help me out here at toy-polloi, then why not think about becoming a patron of the channel. You get early access to all of my restoration videos, plus access to an exclusive video series called On the Cutting Mat, where I show projects and restorations that you won't see anywhere else. So have a think about that, and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching toy-polloi. Subscribe for more great videos.